right. We are live. Let's go.
It's about to get live. We keep it pretty level, no surprise. Come and listen to the topics busted. Yeah, check out our discussion. Keith Norris and D2K. K-Bump 20 on the MIC. Jet I night all the way in Germany. Leveled head, you know who that boy be. What it say? Live and level, live and level. Yeah, we on that MIC. Live and level, live and level. We just talking them games. Live and level, live and level. Take a seat and listen up, man. Live and level, live and level.
What's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? This is your boy Levelhead back with another live and level gamers podcast. We are in the building. I got K-Bomb 20 in the place with me. What's up, K-Bomb 20?
Yo, what it do, people? I am excited. I am amped. I'm ready for this podcast. I've been ready to talk about some games for 2 weeks now. Let's do this.
We are here. The sirens are going. The special people is getting free access. Anyway, let's go. I am not feeling my best today. So if I lay back in the cut, you understand why it's off top. But anyway, what's good, my friend, my pal, upstate a little bit. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm blessed, man. It's crazy that 2020 is finally coming to an end. I am very excited about that. Praying that 2021 will be much better than this 2020 because I am past done with that. But I'm feeling good, man. For real, I'm feeling good.
What if we start off 21 like 2020?
Hey, don't speak that, brother. You already know. Don't speak them things.
Okay, so I see we got a few people in the live chat. Go ahead and sign off. Let us know who you be. We're here to talk games. I'm going to have a lot to say this particular podcast. I'm very informed on some things, and I feel like I got a lot to contribute to the conversation around next-gen gaming. So,
finally.
What you mean? What you mean, finally? What's that? What that supposed to mean?
No, man. Go ahead, man.
I'm joking.
Run your show.
So I told you I ain't as snappy as I was, K-Bone. You got to bear with me. So
anyway, it's on 9 because you got.
I'm
you got
delayed,
me last podcast.
Man. I'm delayed, bro. Anyway, so anything outside the gaming spectrum have you enjoyed? Yeah, hey, have you checked this movie I called Peppermint on Netflix?
I haven't seen it. That's with old girl in there.
Yeah.
Like some kills her family, something like that. It's a revenge movie, one of them old school 80s revenge movies.
Man,
I haven't
good,
seen it
man.
though.
It's good, bro. I was pleasantly shocked by how good is that D2K? All right. Welcome to the show, Mr. D2. Yeah, I was pleasantly shocked by how good the movie was. I recommend any of you who are patrons of the Netflix and chill. Did I say that? Let me write that. Let me walk that back. The type of chilling I'm talking about, actual chilling on and watching Netflix. Check out Peppermint, man. Also, I got to go check out The Mandalorian. I think it's 2 new episodes up that I ain't checked out yet.
Bruh, it's the last 2 episodes have been the best episodes, bro.
Okay, I gotta go.
No joke.
I've been slacking, man. I meant to watch it the other day and I couldn't because I was editing stuff for the church and other things, and then the day before that I couldn't do it. So I'm gonna try to get it all. I gotta watch Mulan. I gotta watch all this stuff, man. So
I just watched Mulan yesterday with the wife. Matter of fact.
I heard it's good.
I wasn't.
Okay, so
I pulled. Let me say real quick. I pulled a level head doing Mulan.
Dozed off.
Put it like that.
That ain't. Wait a minute. Hold up. I'm not laughing at that. I'm not laughing at that.
You know exactly what I mean.
Yeah. You don't be pulling me. I got the right to doze off. I am a busy man with chillins running around here. What's up, D2K? I see you up in here.
What's going on?
Listen to a K-Bum. He come with all the deep. Man, say it again, D2. Let me hear you again. Come on with it.
He like, I'm not your voice monkey.
Oh man, he came in with the deep voice.
Call.
All right, so we are in the building -2. Jedi couldn't make it, and Mr. Norris was going to jump on, but he can't now. He undissed us for other important matters. I won't hold it against him. But we're here to talk about some things. But before we get into that, I don't know. I'm going to say what you've been gaming. Well, I guess I'll talk about what I've been gaming on. But so let's get into this next part. Well, D2K, what's good your way, man? I ain't asked you anything special that you done tried out or been into since we last talked that ain't game related?
You said gang? Or game?
Game.
Okay, I'm like, dang, D2K.
Gang.
I have a very short memory, so I can't really think of anything right now. But I'm pretty sure it'll pop into my mind later on when I'm talking about something else.
Oh, I got something I want to ask you, D2K. What you think about Wonder Woman being released on HBO Max and coming to the theater like they rushing it? Do you think they should have rushed it, or do you think they should have helped it to summer?
I'm not really sure because I've heard some bad things about the movie.
What? Really?
You heard bad?
In terms of, well, I think that usually when you have a movie that's been postponed and prolonged, it opens things up for too many people to get their hands in there and messes up the original idea.
Oh, yeah.
And it usually doesn't wind up being as good as it originally was going to be. And I think a lot of the movies that are going to be coming out next year are going to suffer from that because of, stuff being in the way.
Gotcha.
But I've heard some things about it not being as good as it probably could have been had it just come out when it was supposed to. But we'll see.
Okay. I see what you're saying. So they had more time to tank and edit and change stuff that probably would have made it to the theater had they not had all this time on their hands. I see what you're saying. What's up, Dark Sun Rider? Welcome to the show. We are in here. So anyway, we finna go to our next portion of this, and it's what you've been gaming on. Y'all will not hear the music, but the people out there in the live chat, they will. So let's go. Yeah. You know what time I'm taking y'all to church during COVID-19. You been gaming on. Sing it, folks. Let's go. Hey. What you been gaming on? What you been gaming on?
I can still hear it.
You can hear it?
Yep.
What you been gaming on? I like my my stacks. Gaming on. Gaming on. Gaming on. Gaming on. All right. So we are here. What you been gaming on? I'm going to start with my boy D2K. What you been gaming on since we last talked, bro?
Not a whole lot because I've been kind of busy. The only new game that I played that I can remember would be the Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Oh, okay.
I played that on the PC. I got the game free because I got the Ryzen 9 3900X. I guess that came free with the CPU. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gotten it because I'm not really an Assassin's Creed fan. Okay. And this game really didn't do anything to assuage that. There's nothing wrong with Assassin's Creed games. I mean, I like to, the characters, scaling abilities, climbing on whenever he wants to climb on, the ninja type stuff that you like to do. I do like that type of stuff, but Assassin's Creed just isn't my thing. The intro of the game seems somewhat interesting, where you're playing from a perspective of a young boy, and they're in this big hall, and they're having like a big Viking party or something like that. And I kind of got confused as to who was who, because it seemed like at the beginning that the the boy is talking to another guy, and he's saying, "Hey, I want you to give this thing to the king or whatever, so we can, our two factions can, work together." But then later on, I'm probably remembering this wrong. I probably just got it mixed up. But there's a part where they get attacked by another faction, and the kid sees the king being killed, but he refers to, or I think in his memory, he remembers it, the king being his father, which was like, what? Where? Oh, hold on. So I don't know. I think I'm remembering it wrong. Maybe I just thought something was. I saw something I didn't see, but it was kind of confusing on who the kid's father was. But I thought it was kind of weird that when you fast forward to the future, that you can change the gender of the boy to be male or female. It's still the same character, but you can have him be a female version of the kid or a male version of the kid in the future after all this is going on, which was kind of like, okay. So, but other than that, I was like, yeah, it's the same old, sneaking around, beating up people, collecting gold. It didn't grab me. It's just Assassin's Creed, I'm pretty sure the game gets better as you get further down the line,
Probably
but
doesn't.
it just never really was. It's just boring.
It probably doesn't.
He said probably. You ain't right, bro.
I mean, it's Assassin's Creed, man. It's that, the only reason I did like the one in Egypt is just because it was in Egypt, and I like some of the lore of Egypt because I just went to Egypt. Other than that, it was an Assassin's Creed game.
So
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna ask him. So are you referring to Valhalla, or are you talking about another Assassin's Creed?
No, Valhalla.
I'm talking about K-Bun. I'm talking about K-Bun.
Yeah, I was talking about the one beforehand, the Origins, the one in Egypt.
Okay, got you. Go ahead, D2.
Yeah, and I never did finish up with a Modern Warfare, the last one that came up before the one that just came out. And I was playing that on the PC, and it got to a point where I just didn't want to play it anymore. And this is maybe a conversation for something else because it's kind of unrelated. But there's a part where you have to you come inside this little shack, and you got your boys lined up on either side of the door. You have to kick the door in. Somebody's in there waiting to shoot at you. You kill that person, and then there's you go inside the shack, and there's like a table overturned. They're kind of like barricaded behind it. You got to time it just right to shoot the guy before he shoots you. Then there's a room that's like right behind where this barricaded table is. And you go in there, and there's another soldier that seemingly has a woman and a child hostage. So, I was able to take him out, but then I'm thinking that, well, they're just going to run away or they're just going to stay in the room. But I turn around and the woman starts shooting me. So I'm like, what's this about? So normally if you shoot the wrong person on Modern Warfare, the game ends and it says that shooting civilians will not be tolerated or something to that effect. But it didn't say that. So apparently I was supposed to shoot this woman that I was supposed to save. But then after I killed her son runs over and he fell on top of her and he's crying and everything. And, and I just stopped what I was doing, put the controller down, and uninstalled the game.
And uninstall the game?
You didn't even keep it on your... Okay.
It just rubbed me the wrong way. I just didn't like that at all. And there's just so much realism that's necessary in a game. I think that they're just adding a little bit too much of it because I know that such situations happen in real warfare. That's just not something I need for quote unquote entertainment.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right. I did watch. They have little specials on like Facebook and YouTube sometimes where they have real military Marines and stuff like that watch people play Call of Duty or other shooters, and they compared all the shooters together, and they were saying as far as the campaign and realism, Call of Duty was one of the most real games that they had viewed as far as the tactics, the way that the situations played out. And I'm not remembering one of the situations where they were clearing rooms, and they end up. I don't think it was the exact situation you're talking about, but they end up having to kill someone who was being held captive, and then they went and picked up a gun that the person that was holding them had to try to shoot one of the military guys.
Right. I think I've seen
they,
that before too.
You've seen that before too? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was saying your point though. It's just you don't need that. You're trying to have fun and entertain. You don't need to be shooting mothers and while their children is crying. Yeah, I feel you on that. Sometimes too much is too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too much realism ain't fun, and that's kind. Anyway, we ain't finna go down that road because I could talk about that. That's why I avoid a lot of the games, especially first person shooters, is because I ain't looking to be thrown into realism. I want to kind of escape. Give me something more fantasy. Fake. I know ain't real. Potions and magic. I'd go that route, even though. But anyway, so anything else, D2K, before I move on over here to Mr. K 20?
No. Like I said, if I'm probably forgetting something, so you can move on to the next.
All right, K-Bun, what you been gaming on, bro?
Oh, okay. So, let's start because I've been playing the PS5 and I've been actually testing out a bunch of games, trying some stuff I haven't tried before. So let's go ahead and jump into it. I'll try to be quick as I can about this. So I got the PS5. I downloaded that. I got everything set up. I downloaded some of my PS4 games over. Got some PS5 games. As we talked beforehand, I've been playing Astrobot. Actually, last weekend or the weekend before, something like that, I actually went to a cabin with my wife and two friends, and I had them.
Wait a minute. Hold up. You went to a cabin with your wife and two friends. I don't remember being in no cabin. What you talking about? I ain't get invited to the parties, the festivities.
It was my wife and two close friends. So
all right, okay. This podcast is done. This is it, yo. We are out of here. Y'all just click off the. No, we done, K-Bum. That's it. I am offended. I'm done with this cast. I ain't feeling good. Then my friend tell me, close friend. Now he choking. He choking up laughing. What?
All right, you actually know the dude. You actually know the guy.
I know. I know you talking.
Yeah, you know the guy. Yeah, you know. Yeah,
that's dirty, man. At the COVID-19 end our Chicago trip, you want to run that by me like that? Dang, man.
I'm crying over here, man. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
I'll get over it. I'll get over it.
He had you like Nate Robinson up in here, man.
Oh, dude, D2, why you do that? Why you do that? Why was that man charging like that, bro? Why did he keep charging in like that? Yeah, K-Bum, I set it up so nice.
Man.
I'm gonna get you back. You know, you were kind of. I said I was feeling a little bad, but you won't woke me up. I'm waiting for the opportunity to strike. Go ahead though. Finish off your little PlayStation talking.
Woo, that was good. All right. So I said I went to the cabin with a wife and two associates. And so I let them actually, my wife and my friend try the PS5 because it wasn't like a cabin, so it wasn't like I was camping. You know, we had Wi-Fi and everything like that. But I let my buddy. What was that?
No, go ahead. I'm laughing.
Okay, so I let my buddy try Astrobot. He loved it. My wife enjoyed it. She was playing the crap out of it. She enjoyed it. My buddy actually wanted to play Mortal Kombat, which I don't play Mortal Kombat, but he wanted to play, so we popped that in. We played Mortal Kombat for a little bit. And then I got a chance to finish um, Ghost while I was there. Uh, I got a chance to finish that game, and whew, it gets emotional towards the end. Good lord. Uh, Sony and Sucker Punch did a really good job with that, man. They got really good with some of the decisions you got to make at the end of the game. So I finished that game, and then I wanted to try some other things. So in preparation for the new Ratchet and Clank, I actually downloaded because if you have the PlayStation Plus and you have a PS5, you actually have the PS Plus collection, which is a bunch of PS4 games that you can play on your PlayStation 5. So I actually played the Ratchet and Clank PS4 game, and I beat it. So that was cool. The story is trash. I'm sorry that story was trash. There's not too many games that I skipped the cutscenes. Oh Lord, I was skipping the cutscenes. It was just horrendous. But other than that, it was a good game. I enjoyed the guns, all different guns that you get, all different weapons that you can use. I thought it was cool. I thought all of the boss fights were cool. The gameplay itself is really good. It's very clean and it's fun. The story is just ugh.
Was there any
Uh,
advancements from did the PlayStation 5 do anything to make it better? Like, does it go to 60 frames? Like, is there any changes?
I don't know. I don't think it was 60 frames.
Okay.
Or if it was, I didn't feel it like I did with Ghost. Now with Ghost, when I played it on the PS5, I felt the fact that it was 60 frames
Right.
instead of the standard 30 that it was on the PS4 Pro. So I felt that I didn't really feel the same with Ratchet Clank, but I didn't play Ratchet Clank on the PS4 Pro, so I couldn't really have. I don't have a base to measure it based off of.
All right.
Um, so I played that. I played Miles Morales a little bit. Just a couple of the early missions. I haven't really got deep into it. But I did beat. I mean, I beat the Spider-Man, so I already know how it plays, but I haven't got deep into the story. I've been playing 2K21 for the PS5. Um, I don't know about 2K21 for the PS5 is yeah, the whole my career thing. The play now is probably cool, but they've really messed up the my player in that environment. It's very very bad. Uh, not the quality. And it's still microtransaction central, but the gameplay of it is well, it's not in the gameplay. It's what they did to allow you to create your character. What it was, they gave you freedom of how to put your attribute points on your players so that they play a certain way. The problem is that they try to give you freedom. So they try to give you more freedom to create your player. And but what happens is all of the community created the same type of player. The entire community has the same type of player, and it's no fun. There's no variety. There's no, everyone's 6'7" and everyone can dribble, everyone can shoot, everybody can dunk. It's it's not enjoyable. It's fun when you have people who are in certain role. Like this is the point guard, this is the center, this is the not only the center, this is the rebounding center, this is the shooting center, or this is the slashing center. You had roles that people play, and they would exceed in those roles. But now everybody can do everything, and it's not fun. It's not fun.
So it's more arcadey than simulation.
It's not that it's more arcadey. It's just that no one has defined roles. That if you have your centers out there dribbling like Kyrie, it's no more defined. It doesn't feel like basketball. In basketball, there's defined roles. You're not going to find centers out there dribbling like Kyrie. You're not going to find it.
Anthony Davis, man.
Anthony Davis doesn't dribble like Kyrie. There's no one that dribbles like Kyrie.
That's true. That is a true statement. Welcome to the show, Active Gamer Life, man.
So let me get close to finishing up. Yo, what's up, Active? Let me get close to finishing up. So play that. Madden just came out with their PS5 upgraded version of Madden, and I like the way it plays. I think the gameplay of it and the way that it moves is really good. They have some serious things they need to fix with the defense. But
Hey, Bob, can I make a suggestion to you? Can I make a
What?
suggestion? Stop
Go ahead,
buying
Bob.
EA games. Just stop buying EA games, man.
So I'm cool. So yeah,
Oh, y'all lucky I don't feel myself today.
I've said this over and over. I don't hate EA like everyone's does. I think EA is
Stop buying
terrible
these games,
company.
man. You
I
just
think they are a terrible company. But I'm trying to play video games. I can take my little stand somewhere else. If I like a game, I'm going to buy it.
I hear you, but you just complained about two.
I'm complaining about 2K is no 2K is not EA.
No, 2K isn't EA. You're right. Go ahead.
No,
my apologies. My apologies.
People don't understand that 2A is worse when it comes to microtransactions than EA. They are worse. They just hide on the radar because they put a good product out there. But they are worse when it comes to microtransactions. But anyway, let me finish. All right. So the Madden version is pretty good. The base of it, the core gameplay is pretty good. They have some issues got to fix on the defense. The coverage sucks. The defensive players take poor angles. They really need to fix that. If they fix that, they have a pretty good base to build.
Go ahead. I'm gonna be off for a second. Go ahead.
No problem. I'm almost done. And then I just been sprinkling in there Apex Legends, Overwatch. I said the Miles Morales, and there's another game I had on here that I deleted, but I don't remember what it was. So that's pretty much what I've been gaming on. So I think probably around 10 different games in the past 2 weeks. I've been playing. So try to spread it out, trying to test the PS5, put it on test some of the PS5 games on there, and still being to play some of the PS4 games with some of my buddies. I think it's pretty cool.
Okay. All right, so I guess it's my turn. So for the last few weeks, I've been playing the Nintendo 5. I have been.
Excuse me?
Did I say that wrong?
Can you run that past me again?
I've been playing the Nintendo 5. It's been an awesome system. I'm gonna say
I didn't know they came out with that.
Yeah, I was shocked too when I played it. I was like, man, the Nintendo came out with a great system. But anyway, so I've been playing Miles Morales. I beat that yesterday. Me and my daughter, and mostly my daughter, been playing Sackboy. I bought that for her. And I'm gonna kind of save a lot of my dialogue for the actual discussions because I don't want to share too much here. Astrobot, I got a lot to say. So, but yes, Miles Morales, PlayStation 5, Nintendo 5, that's what I call it. It's been a great system. I've been a Nintendo 5 owner. Let me stop. I've been a PlayStation 5 owner for the past week. I secured mine, how long ago? I secured it. And it wasn't hard for me to secure. I can't remember exactly when I secured it. About 2 weeks ago, I secured it, and then it came in right on that Black Friday. Best Buy called me. I went in to buy the extra PlayStation 5 controller, and I bought Miles Morales. And here's the crazy thing, D2K, K-Bomb. Soon as I left the store, it was about 7 o'clock. I didn't think I was going to get it. They did say it was going to come in to Saturday. Well, when I left the store, right at 9 o'clock, I get a text saying that my PlayStation 5 is available to be picked up right when the store closes. I was like, y'all some dirty dudes right there. But anyway, so, active gamer, it's the Nintendo 5. And I'm going to explain why I'm saying that. K-Bum already know, and he know I'm not lying. But I'm going to save most of my thoughts for the main part of the show. But yeah, I'm enjoying the PlayStation 5. I'm extremely shocked at how well put together this system is. The controller is magnificent. It is far out exceeded my expectations. I was not expecting that.
It wasn't hype then.
No, this is not hype. This is reality. This is paper being pushed into reality. It sound good on paper. It sound good when we was hearing Mark Cerny and all them, the dead man talking dude or whatever he be. It sounded good, but reality is real. It happened. They did that with their controller. The dual, what is it called? The
Dual Sense, I believe.
The Dual Sense is real. But I'm not gonna say much on this part because I want to save most of my feelings for when we actually talk about the game. So let's go ahead and get into the actual discussion for this particular podcast. And the title of the podcast, PlayStation 5, the PlayStation 5. I forgot what I called it. PlayStation 5. The system, the basically Nintendo fans' dream. That's what I said. PlayStation 5, Nintendo fans' dream. Like, to me, well, K1, you got to talk about it last week, so let me have it. As a Nintendo fan, I feel like that Sony has made the system we've been wanting. I'm just gonna be honest, and I know I might not win.
The system who's been wanting?
Nintendo fans.
Okay.
I believe Sony has made the system we want. Don't get me wrong, people. I love the Switch. I was there for the Wii U. I was there for the Wii. I've owned every Nintendo platform that there is to own. That was a home console. Now I didn't do the handheld. Excuse me. I didn't do the handheld stuff. So I didn't do the Game Boys and the 3DSs and all that stuff. I was Nintendo, Super Nintendo, N64, GameCube, Wii U, now the Switch. That's what I've owned. Bought most of the games, especially first-party games. I'm probably not as hardcore and active gamer life or some of the others, but I've been a Nintendo guy through and through. Started my channel being that Nintendo guy. And I'm telling you without any reservations that this is a Nintendo's fan dream. To have power and unique controls all in one spot where they did not cut corners with the power and they did not cut corners with the features of the controller. This is HD Rumble on steroids. The haptic feedback in the triggers is real. Astrobot will make you a believer within minutes of playing. You will look like, as a Nintendo fan, your mouth is going to drop and you're going to swear you are in familiar territory. You're going to swear that you will swim these waters many times. I don't know what these people did. As a Nintendo fan, Astrobot feels like a Nintendo game. Hands down, it feels like a Nintendo game. It feels like Mario, what is it? Now Nintendo sucks 85% of the time. I'm not listening to you acting. I'm not getting pulled in. But what I'm going to say, Astrobot plays like Mario Sunshine, but the graphics, the feel like when you walk on ice, there's an absolute distinction from walking on ice to walking on metal to walking on sand to walking in water. There's a different feel when you float. Yep. There's a different feel when the wind blows. And it ain't light. It's not subtle. If it shakes if the wind blows from the north, you feel it on the north end of the controller. If it blows from the south, it climbs up the south end of the controller. If it blows from the east, you feel it from the east. This controller is ridiculous.
That is a true statement, what he just said.
It's not weak rumble. Look, I owned the Switch for 4 going on 5 years. And I've yet to really experience HD Rumble outside of what they showed when they first showed the Switch. I have not experienced HD Rumble. No, I didn't buy 1-2 Switch. No, I will never buy 1-2 Switch. Sorry.
Never, ever?
If they gave it to me for free, then we'd be trying it out, but I'm not giving them $60 for that. Nintendo really never utilized HD Rumble, just like they really didn't utilize the gamepad like they could have. And I'm not throwing salt on Nintendo. Don't get me wrong. I'm a Nintendo fan. I call the PlayStation 5 the Nintendo 5 because it feels like Nintendo made this. And I know, K-Bum, you got to give it to me. This feels like something out of Nintendo's warehouse that they've been sitting on for a while. But I got to give it to Sony. I'm tipping my hat to Sony. They did it. This ain't no shade to no other system. But what Sony has crafted and created with the PlayStation 5 is legit. The controller is legit. Astrobot should be a full-fledged game. I hate that it's a tech demo.
I agree
Like,
with that.
they have a mass. Look, Astrobot could easily, with a few alterations here and there, Astrobot could be the game. Was the mascot
The
for
mascot.
Sony. They don't need Crash Bandicoot.
Who?
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, Crash Bandicoot was the original. You know, when Sony came out, it was Crash Bandicoot that was.
I know they tried to push that. They tried to push that.
Astrobot can be their mascot. I ain't saying it will ever be better than Mario, but what I'm saying is, the game is legit, man. I had legitimate wow moments all the way through this experience. Astrobot has been my favorite game thus far. I'm getting to Miles Morales, but Astrobot will make you a believer within minutes of playing. The moment you walk and you feel the wind blow and the controller replicates that wind sensation in your hand to where you feel like wind is blowing. This is a Nintendo. They took a lot of ideas like blowing into the controller. Okay, like any Sony fan that say they love this controller will have to give credit and got to tip they hat to Nintendo. If you ever threw shade at what Nintendo was doing with the gamepad, with the Wii remotes, with all the stuff that they were trying to do with motion controls, with the Rumble, with HD Rumble, if you hated on any of that stuff and you love this controller, you was a hypocrite, period. Because this is all...
You can keep that gamepad.
No. What I'm saying is, the microphone in the controller is so crystal clear. You could almost play without turning your sound system on. Like one time I was playing, I was like, where's that coming from? I didn't know it was coming from my controller. I was playing Astrobot. And these sounds, I'm hearing all these sounds, but it ain't coming from my surround sound. I'm like, man, where's this sound coming from? I'm hearing it clear. So I muted the sound system. And this controller is making it. It's so much immersion with this controller from what it's doing with the sensation, with the haptic feedback, with the rumble, and with what's coming out of the speaker in the controller. All this is drawing you into the world that you're playing. It's crazy. Like I said, Astrobot, you got to play it to understand how good Astrobot is. It's not. There is some aspects as a Nintendo fan, it ain't as tight as what I would say a Mario game would be. Some of the controls are not as tight as was one of those games, and I'm gonna really deal with that when I get to Sackboy. But it's right there. It's if Mario is A, Astrobot is B+. That's how close they got the Nintendo formula down with that game. And the controller, the graphics, I was showing y'all, I was putting it up in the Hangout. I was just showing y'all picture after picture after picture of stuff out that clearly came out of Nintendo games. The gamers, they absolutely borrowed all out of their ideas from Nintendo games, but I'm not mad at them. Because they did it right. They didn't do it and fumble the ball. They did it, and actually, as a Nintendo fan, I felt right at home. Astrobot, to me, is my favorite game right now. Even though I beat it, it was my favorite game. Miles Morales will make you understand what 4K gaming is all about. Oh my God, man. I can't now the ray tracing and all that. I don't play ray tracing because it's 30 frames per second. Once you experience, and I'm gonna let K-Bum jump in here in a second. I'm just trying to get mine out. Once you experience 60 frames per second, 4K, and then you got to go back to 30, you see that change. I don't know how you feel about that, K-Bum. You see and feel that change. And as much as I wanted to check out the ray tracing and all that 60 frames per second at 4K I didn't need it. I didn't care about the reflections in the window. None of that. I didn't feel like I missed none of the ray tracing elements because Miles Morales 60 frames per second 4K is unbelievable. My only complaint about Miles Morales is the length of the game as far as the main storyline and the amount of bosses that you actually encounter in the game. I feel like this was really DLC that they just sold as a standalone game. That's what it is. It's DLC. But I ain't mad for playing. I do love the fact that the characters were brown and black. The music, Asian, brown, black. It was, I like the fact that Peter Parker wasn't thrown in there much. He played a small part, and actually you forget that Peter Parker is even in the world because he's not there really. Storyline is good, like K-Bone said with Ghost. It's some tear jerkers in this game. The conclusion will touch you. It's amazing.
Okay.
That's why I said don't watch it. The music is, look, hearing my boy Lecrae ripping it on, that was like, whoa, like hearing this authentic hip hop culture being reflected in this game, with the protagonist being a black Latino boy, and his love interest is a young black, I think, Asian female, and his best friend is an Asian, and it's just it's culture all over the place. And for a black male, I'm gonna be honest, I might be being a little selfish here, but as a black male, it was nice to finally experience something like that, to where I can relate to what was going on the screen.
Representation matters. I don't care what anyone says.
That did something for me. It did something for my daughters. When they come in, they love Miles Morales. I like how the dude said, "This is our Spider-Man." There's a scene in Miles Morales where a dude turned around and say, "This is our Spider-Man." A black dude said, I thought that was pretty cool, but not to go down that lane too much. Miles Morales is a great game. Definitely a good introduction to what the PlayStation 5 is capable of doing, but I know that the system was capable of doing way more than that. Sackboy, and we can talk about this more and more.
I did have some. You gonna take time for questions? Or you
go ahead, ask me some questions. Ask me some questions.
Because I asked him some questions I wanted to ask you about a couple of games. So,
yes.
So since we just talked about Spider-Man, I'm gonna take a quick second to ask you a question about this.
Yes.
So you talked about how the 60 frames per second was your go-to, and that was what you would prefer. But the question that I wanted to ask was about the joystick.
Okay.
Did you experience similar to what you did with Sackboy when it came to the immersion with the joystick?
With Sackboy?
And no, in the Miles Morales game, Astrobot? Did you experience similar to what you did in Astrobot when playing?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
And I don't know. And somebody else brought that up to me, and I was like, no, I haven't. No, it was nowhere near. The experience with the controller and the haptic feedback and the rumble is nowhere near where Astrobot is, far as the sensation and the feedback. Don't get me wrong. It feels good, especially when Peter Parker, when Miles' spider sense go off. The controller lets you know that even before you see the indication around his head, you see the spider sense going off visually. The controller already giving you that sense itself. It's there, but it's a way more subtle than what I would say Astrobot is. So I heard that even the haptic feedback on the web swinging is there. I don't feel it, but I maybe I need to go in my settings and change something. I'm not for sure.
No, I've heard is some developers have been kind of reluctant to use it because if it's too much, people are just going to turn it off.
Okay.
And that's why I said some of the issues I had with NBA 2K is that they have stuff is going on in the joystick that's not being represented on the screen.
Gotcha.
And it's like, why is this joystick doing this when there's nothing on the screen that should cause it to react like that? And so developers, what I've heard, developers have been kind of careful with what maybe too careful with the haptic feedback because they don't want to deter gamers from actually using it.
Right. Well, I would say I feel like some of those features, and D2K, jump in here wherever you want to, bro. I feel like some of those features only work in certain genres well. Like platformers, to me, all the features work because there's some way, shape, or form that's going on in the world that you can you can utilize those features to replicate and bring in more immersions, like I said, with the wind blowing and utilizing the accurate rumble and the sensation. And like one thing, like I know the Switch supposed to do this. I've never experienced it with the Switch, so I'm not saying the Switch can't do this, but it was one part in Astrobot where a whole bunch of Astrobots roll up into balls, and while you're waiting for the game to update or whatever, it allows you to manipulate the controller forward and backward, side to side, and you literally feel like balls are rolling in the controller. And it feels like literal marbles are rolling around in your controller, and it feels legit. It don't feel like rumble. It feel like you can feel balls rolling. So with the sound that it's making plus the sensation it's creating, I would say Astrobot has been the more over top. Even Sackboy don't even compare to what Astrobot is doing. I haven't felt much of those features. I think because a lot of those games are PlayStation 4 games that they just bounced up to the PlayStation 5. I think Sackboy is originally for PlayStation 4. They bounced it up to the PlayStation 5, and probably, like you said, then utilize those features.
Right.
But if Astrobot is any indication of what is possible, I'm telling you as a Nintendo fan, that's what excites me the most. Like it's one, like I said, I can talk about Astrobot all day. It's one scene where you have a gun, and when I first pulled the trigger, I'm be honest with you, I wasn't expecting nothing. I just pulled the trigger, and when my fingers was literally shaking, and it felt like I had a semi-automatic rifle in my. It was literally creating that feeling, and I was like, dang, and it was strong. It wasn't subtle at all. It was, when I tell you can hear it, like it literally is giving you some serious feedback, and it's so good that it's just satisfying. It's like, wow, this controller. I think the controller is the difference maker right now. The controller is the difference maker. Like I said, I don't know what the Xbox. I haven't seen. I was talking to a guy at Best Buy when I was getting my phone. He has the Xbox, but he said the thing I want to experience the most, even he said it is that controller, because I've heard so much about it. Was somebody finna say something?
No, I was just saying. I remember I sent you guys a video of the Call of Duty game and how the adaptive trigger actually responds differently depending on which gun you're shooting with.
Right.
And if you're shooting with a automatic, you can actually feel it like give and jump like an automatic. And if you're shooting with like a sniper, it has that satisfying, click. When you're actually pulling the trigger. So I just thought that was something pretty cool to tie into your experience as well. Because some games are using it a little bit more than others, and you kind of get what you're referring to.
Okay, so to me, as a Nintendo fan, I believe this is the system that we've been waiting for, and I'm just gonna put it out there. I feel like if you're a Nintendo fan, you will feel right at home with the PlayStation 5, hands down. This is what we want. This is what me and D2K talk about. This is what me and Keith talk about. Nintendo not holding back with the power aspect, giving us a system that competes with all the zany, over-the-top, awkward, different, unique controller experiences. It's like Sony saw all that stuff, was like, look, we're gonna take everything Nintendo has developed over the last few decades or generations, I would say. We're gonna take blowing into the controller. We're gonna take HD Rumble. We're gonna take the Xbox introducing the haptic feedback with the Elite controller. We're gonna take all these features and we're gonna dump more features on it, and then we're gonna add the power that we are known for, and and I'm gonna just tell you right off top, it works. It works. It works. It works. I have not had this much fun in a long freaking time. I did not think I would be this excited about the PlayStation 5. I got it because I just wanted, because I could. I'm gonna just be honest with you. I got it, because I could.
Mm-hmm.
And I did want to experience Astrobot. I watched a video and they were just talking about Astrobot, and I was like, man, I could wait till next year and drop all this money next year and not being able to predict what's coming next year. I was like, oh, I can get it now and then get Ratchet and Clank when Ratchet and Clank come out, and I just get Ratchet and Clank. I can already have this paid off. So I was like, man, I'm gonna try to secure it. So I stayed up. I had to stay up literally watching Best Buy's online site to see when they was gonna drop, because I got a tip from a person I follow on YouTube that they're gonna be dropping new product, PlayStation 5 product, and Xbox also product. So at about 4:45 that Wednesday morning, it dropped, and I got on there. I secured me one, and I was excited. But I'm gonna tell you, this has far exceeded my expectation. It is fast. When I say Miles Morales, you were playing the game from the open tip, from powering up to getting to swinging is literally maybe 7 seconds.
Something like that, yeah.
Maybe less, depending on how long you stand and forget to push the button to start the game at the when he's standing in the elevator. It's literally
fast.
seconds, man. It like one time I was standing there and I thought that it was the cut scene and it was me. And I was standing there like, man, what is it? Then I forgot, oh, it's done. There is no loading time. there is no loading time in this game. And I'm going to go here real quick, and I want to get your thoughts, K-Bum, and then D2K, and I'm going to throw it to you. The reason I feel like ray tracing, I don't feel like I feel like if 60 frames per second make it look better than what ray tracing does, then I feel like there was no real need for ray tracing. I would say that's my only pushback with everything. I feel like ray tracing is more of a gimmick right now than an actual quality feature, because when I kept just going back to fidelity, to performance, to fidelity, to performance, and I don't really care. Ray tracing doesn't do enough to warrant it being there. But when you see Miles Morales in 60 frames per second, you don't care about the ray tracing. You don't feel like you missing nothing from the ray tracing. And that's just me. Yes, you can see Miles Morales' window. You can see him reflecting in the window. You can see different shadows and shades. It's subtle. It's nothing mind-blowing. But to bump up to 60 frames per second and see how smooth that game look, and just how clean and precise and sharp everything is, the ray tracing ain't got nothing on 60 frames. And I feel like ray tracing is honestly ain't really proved itself to be worth anything at this point. That's my opinion on ray tracing.
So when I played me playing Ratchet and Clank, not Ratchet and Clank, sorry, Miles Morales, I actually play it with fidelity mode. I don't play it with performance mode. I actually prefer the graphics and the increases I get from ray tracing than I do the 60 frames per second. That's personally me, because it's more than just reflections on the windows. It's reflection of the light, how the light even reflects off of water puddles. Me and my buddy, we were walking through, and we both were walking through, looking at the differences between the two. We both kind of conceded that just a little bit more. We like the one with ray tracing than the 60 frames per second. But that's, like I said, that's me. That's what I prefer. And that's typically the way I like the game. So 30 frames per second, you can see the difference, and it is much clearer. But the fidelity that I got from the ray tracing and the better graphics and the shadows and everything else you get with that, to me, beat out the 60 frames per second. But that's me, and I know I've seen people on Twitter saying if you play without 60 frames per second, you're a moron and everything else.
No,
But
I don't feel like that.
not you. No. I've seen people people call people, and again, I'm a graphics person. I prefer graphics, and I know we've had this discussion for a long time. I prefer graphics, and I like looking at better graphics. And to me, what ray tracing was doing to me looked it better, and I enjoy the image I was looking on the TV screen better. So, but that's my personal
And
opinion.
would you got anything to add to that, D2?
Um, I'm the type of person that I just kind of walk to the beat of my own drum when it comes to things like this, and I kind of mirror what K-Bob is saying. Is that I go for what is most interesting to me and for more fulfilling to me in gameplay versus what popular demand beckons you to think that you should enjoy. For me, I much prefer 30 frames per second in games like this. Any type of game that has a cinematic feel to it, I prefer 30 frames per second because it mirrors the same frame rate that you get from movies.
True.
And I, excuse me, and I care more about 60 frames per second for simulation type games, sports, shooters, racing, anything where you have a high detail in terms of something that's close up to you, or like with professional sports, you want it to be 60 frames per second because you want it to be as close to what you're seeing on TV as possible. It has to be. But when I'm playing a big cinematic game or an RPG or something like that, where it's all about the fantasy, your mind fills in the blanks where the frame rate isn't there. And it makes it feel like 60 frames per second, even though it's only 30. I mean, when you're watching a movie, movies are shot in 24 frames per second.
Right.
But when you're watching a movie, you don't feel like you're missing anything.
Right.
And I think I've noticed, and I think I've said this before on the podcast, is that when I've tried watching movies that are in higher frame rates, like at 48 frames per second, like the last Hobbit movie was, it didn't look right.
Or
it didn't
even
look right. And
Gemini Man, I think was 120. I thought something like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, Gemini Man was.
Yeah, it feels like you're. Yeah, it feels like you're watching like the original filming of it, like, and then you wait for somebody to say "and cut."
Exactly.
That's how it feels. So it doesn't draw you in. So I think that for me, I kind of agree with both of you. I agree that I prefer to have a cinematic feel to it, but I also agree with Level, whereas that ray tracing is probably something that we didn't really even need at this point. I think that just because you can do a thing doesn't mean that you should. I think they should have waited until later on in the generation where it can really show off the benefits of ray tracing instead of making it a point of sale for both consoles. They talked about it heavily. I don't think it's really something that's necessary right now. I think that what you're getting from the haptic feedback of the controller to PlayStation 5 carries way more weight than any ray tracing, and what you're getting in terms of value of the Game Pass is, for Microsoft, is worth more than anything else that they're doing in terms of specs and horsepower.
Okay. Welcome to the show, Alex. I see you in there. What I would say is, like I said, I maybe I need to go back and just play it in ray tracing because I didn't see, and then maybe my eyes got to be, I guess I got to catch the differences. I do catch it, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. It felt lower quality. I don't know why. It felt like when I would go from ray tracing to the 60, even though you did lose like the color range and the some of the shadows and light reflection, you lost some of that, but the clarity got sharper and the buildings were sharper, and the way when you were swinging through the city, it was just butter, and it was just like, this is how this game, like, even though it's a cinematic game, when you swinging through the city at 60 frames per second, it's just butter smooth. And I just kept going back and forth, and I felt like the trade-off wasn't as worth sacrificing the smoothness of 60 frames, and it still looked, to me, it looked better 60 frames. But like I said, I maybe need to go back and play it longer in fidelity to see what I'm missing. I didn't feel like it was as clear and as sharp as it is in 60 frames. That's with my eyes, and it could be my TV. I know K-Bone got that OLED, so he might be seeing something a little bit different than me and my little Sony Bravio. But anyway, but overall, the system lives up to the hype. So let me talk about Sackboy. Okay. Because, I bought all the platforms. As a Nintendo fan, I had to get the platforms. I wasn't getting Assassin's Creed. I wasn't getting Call of Duty. I wasn't getting NBA 2K. I got Miles and I got Sackboy. Primarily my daughter wanted it, and I'm gonna be honest, I wanted it. So anyway, Sackboy is Mario 3D World with Sackboy characters thrown in it. I just don't like the characters that Sackboy is. He's just not interesting. Hold up. Shut the door, boo-boo. I'm doing something right now. Okay, I'll let you play the game in a second. Okay, mommy. All right. All right. I got told off. Okay, so I'm back. I don't care for the character. The game is beautiful. The controls, I think who makes Sackboy? If you know that in the comment section, let me know.
Sackboy's made by Media Molecule something.
They complicate platforming. Like, as a platforming guru, I'm a connoisseur of platforms. I like platforms. Nintendo, you jump and stomp with the same controller. You jump and then you double it, and then Mario butt coming down on the Goomba head. That's how it's supposed to be. Well, that's not how Sackboy does it. Sackboy, you got to push this button to do the stomp. You got to push that button to do this, and it's just like, it's a platform. You don't have to use every button on the controller. It's too complicated for the simplicity that it's offering in the controls. He too limited in his controls. While it's weird. The controls are complicated and limited at the same time. And Sackboy himself is not an interesting character. Like Astrobot, he interesting. I like Astrobot. K-Bum, I'm gonna take your word. I kept telling you to stop saying it, but I'm gonna use it. He's cute. He's cute. Crap.
I had to unmute my mic.
I found myself saying the same. My daughter said, "Oh, he's so cute." He is. I got to give it to him. So, but Sackboy,
man, you gave me so much heat. I did. You ain't keep saying that word.
Yeah, I did, man.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
It didn't sound right coming out your mouth, man. It didn't sound right.
Man,
talking about
these dudes.
Yeah, but I got to give it to you. He is a cute character. But I will say this though, Sackboy is visually is beautiful. I don't like the music. They use real life music like what's his name, Bruno Mars, and one song was Nicki Minaj. I was like, man, I ain't feeling this. I don't want to hear Bruno Mars. And it didn't even fit. And it's like the music don't even fit. So I'm kind of torn on Sackboy. It is fun. It has a lot of, again, Nintendo elements. If you're a Nintendo fan, you'll feel right at home with a Sackboy. You'll feel right at home with an Astrobot. You'll feel right at home with a Spider-Man. You're going to feel right at home with the controller. But Sackboy, I don't know. I don't know who thought it was wise to use actual artist music instead of crafting your own sound for your game. The game where Bruno Mars is playing, it don't even fit. And it's one of those stages where the stage is linked to the music. So it's like what's the game that by Ubisoft? Rayman. You know how Rayman got some of those stages that the stage moves to the music. It changes and jumps up and down according to the beat of the music. Well, they got a stage like that, and Bruno Mars is the music. And it's like, I mean, it sounds dope, but it don't fit. It don't fit nothing you doing. It's like, this music is out of place. And so it was kind of, that wasn't cool. And I think Sackboy himself and the whole Sackboy or that character or Sack Girl or whatever just ain't interesting enough as a character to really pull you into the world. And that's I would say Sackboy. I would get about a 7. It ain't bad. It's a fun, cool game. My daughter likes it. But for me, it's lacking in a whole bunch of areas that it can improve. I'm still playing on getting what was that? I might get Cyberpunk, but I'm gonna wait till next year, like K-Bum, get that next year. But overall, man, as a Nintendo fan, I don't know why this is scratching all my Nintendo fan itches. I feel like I'm playing a Nintendo system. I call it the Nintendo 5 for a reason. I feel like I'm playing a Nintendo system. I really do. I don't feel like this is Sony. This don't feel like Sony. This feels like Nintendo, but the power lets me know it's Sony. And I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm glad I made the purchase. I chose the 5 over the series. It has scratched all the itches, and I'm a happy PlayStation 5 owner. There it is, folks. I am genuinely excited about the PlayStation 5. Legit. That's no joke. I tip my hat to Sony. I got to give them they due. Hello? Have I blew up y'all?
No, I was actually talking, but I was in mute, so my bad. My dog's upstairs barking, and so I had to mute myself because he's up going crazy.
I know that's shocking that I gave all that praise to Sony's K-Bum, but it's true, man.
No. Let me. I'm gonna ask D2K a question. D2K, sir.
Yes.
If I would have spent an hour saying the same stuff that Level is saying about this PlayStation, you know my mic would have been muted. Tell me I'm playing.
But just like, but that'd be the same situation if I was on here talking about Nintendo. You would have been like, what? I forgot y'all. We was even having a podcast. You would have tuned me out. So yeah, you a PlayStation guy. What? That's like a broken record for you. But I'm not gonna front, man. I'm not gonna front. That was $4.99 well spent. Now I spent way more than that, and my wife about to strangle me. But
I ain't gonna say nothing. I won't tell.
But yes, it was definitely well spent. The PlayStation 5 is legit. Now this mug is huge. I gotta unbox it. I'm gonna put it up here at some point. Man, this thing is bigger than what you think, bro. Like,
however you think big, you think it is, it's bigger.
It's bigger. It looks like the Avengers building in Miles Morales.
You know what it looks like to me though? It looks like Seto Kaiba from Yu-Gi-Oh! His collar, how he has his collar up. That's what it looks like to me.
Man, this mother look like a skyscraper in Miles Morales. This system is huge.
It's huge. And it's heavy.
It's heavy. It's huge.
Heavy.
You can't put it anywhere. Like I got it up in my front room because that's my best TV is in the front room upstairs. And that's a 55-inch and it's half the height of my TV.
Yes, it's something else.
I bring it down here, the 65-inch, I put it on the speaker. It stands out. This thing it's ridiculously big, man. It doesn't fit into nothing around it. And I guess that's what it's meant to do, to be a standout device in your wherever you got it. It's huge, man. You're gonna be shocked. And I'm gonna say this. The way that they packaged it was very concerning. You would think they would have way more packaging and protection for
you would think.
Yeah, they I don't know what was that. I was like, man, so if you getting defective PlayStations, it won't be hard if you drop that box with the weight of that thing. That little way they got it set up, that ain't gonna protect it. I don't think. It's just basically, what would you say, K-Bum? 2 edge, hold it in the center, and some paper.
That's about it.
It ain't nothing in there holding this thing secure, for real.
It looked like COVID cut the packaging budget in Sony.
So I'm thankful that I got my system without any issues, because the packaging leaves you like, what? Who packaged this, and how did they get this cleared to ship this out like this? But But yeah, it's huge. I'm not a fan of the white on black. It's growing on me, but the same with the Wii. I didn't like the white with the Wii. I would have preferred black, just for optics. I feel like it fits into your day-to-day activities better. The black controllers,
It blends in more with your
blends in,
wherever you have it set up.
Yeah, this white with these white controllers. Like I said, it's growing on me. It looks futuristic and space age and out there. But overall, I can't complain, man. I'm excited. As a Sony, I like Sony. I always have, but my Nintendo itch has been scratched. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting to feel like I ain't got to really worry about what Nintendo do outside of their first party IPs. I feel like I got a Nintendo system in my house. So anyway, go ahead. I'm gonna mute myself because my kids is making noise. But go ahead.
Yeah, boo boo down there.
Yeah.
No, man, but D2K on the real though, I do share a lot of the same sentiments that Level has about the PlayStation 5. I do think it's a very good system. I think it's well made. One thing I'm gonna ask Level when he gets back on the mic, and anyone out there in the comment section, if you guys want to chime in, is if you guys have a PS5, is what do you guys think about the user interface, the actual operating system of the PS5? I know I said something about it the podcast I got a chance to talk about the PlayStation. I'm not a big fan of it. I think it's clunky. I think it's hard to find your party chat or your messages and so on and so on. So if you are there Level, I do want to hear just quickly about your experience and what you think about the operating system and the user interface for the PS5.
I'm going to say it is very similar to the PlayStation 4, but when you're trying to exit out far as like turn your PlayStation off, it's a little confusing at times on how to get it so that the other menu open up so that you can close it out. It is kind of clunky at times when you're trying to find certain things. Like I actually tried out, what is it, where you can cast.
Broadcasting, yeah.
You can cast your, so I actually beat Miles Morales down here on my in my man cave through my PlayStation 4. I'm not going to tell anybody to try it that way because it's not that great of an experience because of the lag. But so I was trying that out, and it was real hard to navigate to find out where you go to do that. But overall, man, I ain't got no for real complaints. It's very reminiscent of the PlayStation 4s. Just ain't as friendly as the PlayStation 4s is, but it's pretty much close to it, in my opinion.
Okay.
But like I said, you do way more with it.
My biggest issue. That's my biggest issue is when people send you party invites, or you're just trying to send a message, or you're trying to check to see who's online. They put all of that under the same icon on the little pop-up menu bar. So it's difficult. It makes it harder, and it takes longer clicks and more clicks to actually check to see who's online, to quickly check a message, or to send a party invite. So that's part of my issue.
That's kind of weird because Sony's, they've always been very frugal when it comes to their interface on their operating system. It's very straight and to the point. There's not a whole lot of fluff and bloat. So it's real easy to get from point A to point B. So it's kind of strange that they would choose now to, tinker with that.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, for me, with my PlayStation 4, like it depended on when I had a game, I played based on the game. Like my PlayStation would get no love until like, okay, God of War 4 is out. And then now I'm playing it through God of War 4, and then it goes dormant. And then Ghost came out, and I bought Ghost, and I hadn't turned my PlayStation 4 on from the time I played God of War. So the interface, I wasn't interacting with it enough to really experience what K-Bum was talking about because I never really got real familiar with the UI of the PlayStation 4 anyway. So I was always struggling to find out where stuff was and how to do what. So picking up the PlayStation 5 is basically the same scenario for me. I'm still trying to learn, where stuff is. So it's about the same experience for me as it was with the PlayStation 4, whereas K-Bum playing every day, all day, he already used to the force structure, so anything changes, I can see that kind of disrupting the speed of how fast you are able to get to where you're trying to get to. I was finna say this, man. Going back to Astrobot, this is the one place that made me a believer where I knew there might be some problems for my favorite and my preferred company if they don't get their butt out, head out their butt. There's a stage where you're climbing up and they give you a bow and arrow, and I think K-Bum, I'm pretty sure you have played this. It's the same stage you play as the monkey, and you climbing up, and then you get to the top, and then they give you a bow and arrow, and it reminded me of that gingerbread game we played in virtual reality. You can definitely tell Astrobot is a virtual reality game brought into demo form for the PlayStation 5. That's what it is. You can tell it's meant for virtual reality. So
the first Astrobot was
right.
The first one, but the one on the PS4 was VR.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You could tell that they took that. You could tell it's made for that experience. But you face off, and I don't want to. Well, I mean, anyway, you face off against, and it's something that is amazing when you see it. Even the final boss is amazing when you see it and how it plays. But when you shoot the bomb and it blows up, and then what happens, that moment and the sound, like one thing is really we haven't even talked about is the sound that the PlayStation 5, the quality of the sound that the system is giving off. I don't know how you feel about it, K-Bum, but the sound really is good. Like, it's noticeably different from what the 4 was doing.
Right, yeah.
Have you noticed that the sound is way better?
Yeah, that's the 3D sound.
Yeah, like,
forgot about that. Yeah,
man, it's like this. Like I said, Astrobot will be the game that's going to show you all this. But you facing off against this dragon. I won't say much about it. But he begins to shoot out these bombs out of his mouth, and the sound that it gives off, doop doop. You feel like you in 3D space. You feel it in the 3D space. Like the sound is around you, like surround sound, but it's way more sharp and pristine. You can, like, if he's shooting from the left, it's really feel like it's coming from the northwest. It's different, man. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It's a different experience. The PlayStation 5 is a different experience, man, and I'm all for it. I'm excited as a gamer. I don't know.
And I'm gonna say this because I've said this more than once on this program before, that it was only going to be a matter of time before somebody would out Nintendo.
True.
And I think that's what Sony has done.
I think that Sony, man. I've been hesitant. I think
Sony has become what Nintendo used to be, and taken it even a step further. Because when you think about Nintendo in the late 80s and the early 90s, how aggressive they were in terms of the types of games they made, in terms of the hardware, in terms of the marketing, in terms of their actual footprint on the industry at large, and even in pop culture, they were everywhere. They were in everything. It was like if you had a video game console, people said, "Do you have a Nintendo?"
Right.
They didn't ask if you had an NES or SNES. They said, "Do you have a Nintendo?" And now it's, Sony has taken that. And people say, "Oh, do you have a PlayStation?" They assume that you have that if you say you have a video game console. But now Sony has basically said that, we've mastered, doing it our way. We're going to go back to our bag of tricks, and we're going to take some things that Nintendo used to do really well, and we're going to start trying to find a way to perfect that. And this is...
Go ahead. Go
And this is something that could potentially be a very dangerous situation for Nintendo because Sony already has the mind share. They already have enough franchises that make big bucks. They already have, people looking at them as the go-to place for gaming.
Right.
Nintendo's safe haven has always been, and it's always been about either innovative controls or about the first-party titles, which are mainly primarily platformers, party games, and RPGs.
Right.
Now Sony is very surreptitiously crouching into that
Those genres.
space.
Bro.
Yeah.
And
it ain't no. What you use the word you
I
just?
I agree.
Use
D2K.
the word you
I
just
agree.
used again, D2K. Sir, what? Sir, we I don't know how to say what you just said.
That's surreptitiously.
Now, what does that mean? Explain that word to me, because I want to know. So when I say what
All
I
right,
say,
good. I wasn't the only one. Cool.
Okay, well, explain what surreptitiously means. I'm listening.
It means that you're doing something without you realizing that they're doing it.
Nah,
Nice.
you're right, but no, D2. They ain't surreptitiously. No, they blatantly let Nintendo know, bro, we're aiming for that share. Nintendo always has the platformer, the fun, the Cable, I'm gonna take your word again, the cute, what else? Like Mario, Donkey Kong.
Basically, what Sony did was they basically just cast their fishing line into the blue ocean.
There you go. And man, when I tell you, I'm not. I kid you not, people. I kid you not. What Nintendo has with their IPs is that magic. I had a video way back in the day called that Nintendo Magic. That's what Sony and Microsoft was never able to replicate or duplicate. They couldn't. They wanted. They made All Stars, but they couldn't make Smash. They want their Mario Kart, but they couldn't make Mario Kart. I'm telling you, without a shadow of a doubt, Astrobot got that magic. Astrobot is a Nintendo game on a PlayStation system. That's what it is. And if you're a Nintendo guy, you're going to fall in love with that game, even though it's just a demo. You're going to be like, more of this, please. And it's like, man, that's what, like, as a Nintendo fan and looking at what Nintendo is doing, that's what gives me a moment of pause and like, man, if Sony is able to replicate this over a few more of those platformer style games, Nintendo might have a problem. They might just have a problem. Because if Nintendo ain't willing to do the graphics, because Astrobot is just blowing up off the screen. Like, it's just colors for days. And it's just sharp. And I mean, don't get me wrong, Mario Kart looks amazing and all, but it ain't this level of sharp. It ain't this level of clear. It ain't. I'm sorry, people. It ain't competing. It ain't. And when you see Ratchet and Clank, it's visually on another level. But what they never had was the controls. Astrobot got the controls. It's like literally, if Mario is A, Astrobot is B+. And it's basically all Sony did. And K-Bun would preach this truth. They just copied and pasted Nintendo. They're like, so we just gonna stop trying to do it our way. We just gonna copy what you doing and put it on our character. And that's what they did. And it freaking works. And it works amazingly. And I mean, every person that I've gave the controller to, put it like this. Every person that I put the controller in their hand and they play Astrobot could not get enough. I don't care what age they were. It is the Wii Sports for the PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
It's the Wii Sports. It makes you understand right out the gate what you're about to get into. And I'm talking about grown 34, 35, 36, 37-year-old males swinging the controller left and right trying to climb up the cliff with the monkey. It looks like it ain't waggle. It takes some skills to do it.
It does take some skills.
It takes some skills, man. And it's such a Nintendo play. It's like, I'm telling anybody, once you experience Astrobot, you're going to walk away. You might not buy a PlayStation 5. And maybe they might not do what they did in Astrobot in other games down the road. Maybe Astrobot is an outlier and nothing else comes close to what they did with that game. I don't believe that, but let's say that they do. I don't care who you are. If you play Astrobot, especially as a Nintendo fan, you're going to walk away like, man, they did that. Man, they did that. They did that. That game will make you a believer. Hands down, it will make you a believer. You will not walk away talking about, oh, that wasn't nothing. No, you won't. If you do, you lying. And you just lying and you hating, and you're going to come back and play it again when you get a chance to. So that's all I got to say. The PlayStation 5 is that deal. It's legit. I'm not saying that the Xbox isn't. I haven't experienced the Series X yet. But from all the testimonies that I've been hearing, the Xbox Series X
they fumbled the ball.
It's just, I don't know. I ain't gonna say nothing.
That right there. That's what you did.
The PlayStation 5, it is the controller. I'm telling you, the controller is the changer. That's what the controller changed the game, man. The visuals is great, but it's the controller with the visuals. It's amazing, man. I can't. It gave me that. It's like when you first played Wii Sports. Just imagine Wii Sports with the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 graphics. Imagine the Wii remote with the PlayStation 4's visuals.
So this is a worst case scenario for Nintendo because you have that experience with a powerful console.
Right, that's the problem.
And then you have the types of games that Nintendo fans are used to playing to back that up. So now it's like, what excuse do you really have?
Here's the problem, D2K. Now the people that act like they hated platformers are enjoying platformers because of the extra added engagement or the immersion with the controller. Like, okay, I use K-Bum. Not K-Bum, I'm using you just real quick. K-Bum, since I've known him from college, I don't understand why he played Yu-Gi-Oh, but we ain't gonna talk about that. He's never been a platformer guy. Am I wrong to say that, K-Bum? If you unmute your mic, I don't know if you're talking. K-Bum?
My bad. I was playing 2K.
Okay.
Yeah. No, you are 100% correct with that. I've never been a platformer. You can probably count. I can probably count on my hand the amount of platformers I've actually played and liked.
And that's across the board. That don't matter what system. Sony, Nintendo, Microsoft.
Oh, it don't matter. It don't matter.
You don't play platformers, so you ain't going. Like you said, you never played Ratchet and Clank because Ratchet and Clank had a more of a platformer aesthetic, right?
I've wanted to play Ratchet and Clank, I just never got to it. But it does have a platform aspect, but it is a shooter. But it does have it's a shooter / platformer. It's not It's not a platformer. It's not a shooter. It's probably a mixture of both.
Okay. But Astrobot, you don't you will try out the platforming to experience the controller, right or wrong?
Oh, absolutely. Astrobot is a fun game, even though, like I said, I can't play it for hours like I can other games. But when I am playing it, I'm having fun.
Like I said, I'm looking at this and say I play games and no consoles can compete with. Hey, Active, you can have that. I totally disagree with you, bro. Hey, I understand that these games gonna cost $70, but Game Pass ain't competing with that with what that controller doing. I think Game Pass is dope. If you want to play the older games and have the luxury, that's cool. It's dope. No knock to it. But bro, once you experience that controller, I think even you gonna be like, they did that. If what I know about you to be true, you're gonna tip your hat to that controller, because that controller is the real deal. And no, I don't like the idea of having to pay $70 for no video game. That part I still ain't happy with. Hopefully Xbox and Nintendo hold out, and only Sony is the one doing that. I doubt that'd be the case down the road. I bet they all go.
Because publishers gonna want their money.
But man, don't get me wrong, Game Pass is dope. But bro, when it comes to a new experience, man, Sony got it with that controller, bro. I can't. It's the controller, man. It's the controller. It ain't the power. It's the controller with the power. It would not be the same. I would not feel the same if it wasn't for the controller. I would not. If I got it and it was just the PlayStation 4 or the PlayStation 5 with more power, same PlayStation 4 controller, I'd be like, I waste my money. The controller is what do it. It's the controller, man. It is. And Astrobot will make you a believer.
And the Spider-Man game is not $70.
No, I
The
played
Spider-Man game is
It's
$39.
I actually got it for $49 actually.
Yeah, $49. Yeah, $49. Yeah, it's not.
Now
$70.
you can buy the edition where both the original Spider-Man and Miles
and
Morales
the
is
DLC is $70. Now
Yeah,
all of
but-
that is $70.
Yeah, all that's $70.
but not just the DLC.
But
All
no,
the
man,
Miles
like I said, I'm just saying, I know all of us, we've talked with each other, we've been in these circles for years. I
Right.
know what we talk about behind the scenes. I know what we dreamed about. I'm telling y'all, man. I'm telling you. PlayStation 5 is it. It's the materializing of what we've been talking about for years. What we've been hoping Nintendo would do. Now we settle for it's the truth. It's everything we wanted Nintendo to do for years. Sony did it. It's crazy. I don't know how else.
This is the console that we wanted from Nintendo 3 years ago. That we thought we were going to get from Nintendo
Right,
3
right.
years ago, and we got the Switch.
No, we
Now the
got
Switch
the
was
Wii U.
successful.
We got the Wii U, then we got the Switch. Because we thought we were getting this with the Wii U.
Well, yeah, that's true. I mean, we did think we were getting a console like this with the Wii U. But I think more so the whole stuff that was going on with Super Metal Dave and all that type of stuff, talking about the AMD, the third win and all that type of stuff. And, we seriously thought that this was coming for the next Nintendo console. And they did a good job of swerving us, but, it took us 3 years and we finally got it, but it's got a PlayStation tag on it.
Yeah. That's the point. You would think this would be too big of a gamble. Like, to me, this is why I tip my hat to Sony. Sony fan base ain't too welcoming of change. I remember when the touchpad came out, they wasn't feeling the touchpad all that well. They wasn't feeling a lot of the changes. They just give me the DualShock with more power. That's what most Sony fans were saying. Anytime that Sony would talk about implementing some new feature, they would say, no, we don't want all that. We don't want this. I remember they was talking about when Nintendo came out with the gamepad, they was talking about putting the screen in their controller. And I remember Hard 8 shooting it down. Right? Now I could go over there to Hard 8 channel and he's singing the praises of this controller when they was. So now that could just be hypocrisy. It probably is. Hey, I don't care. I ain't in their circle. Yeah, Hard 8 and all them be hypocritical. So that goes without saying. But what I'm saying is this was a gamble for Sony to put so much attention on a controller of this capacity and not cut corners with it, to not limit it, to actually go above the pale with it and then give you power that and right now all the games seem to be playing better on his system, but I ain't going there. That's a door trigger. Let's not do that. My point is, they gave you the system with the power that says next gen, and they didn't stop there. They gave you an actual next gen controller experience all in one spot for the exact same price as the competitor. And it works. And they gave you a free game that demonstrates that and it's a lengthy enough game that is worthy of your attention. I can't say, look, as a Nintendo fan, I feel like I bought a Nintendo system. I really do. I feel like when I push it on, I see that Sony logo, I just see the big end. So, with that being said, man, I'm pleasantly shocked. I feel like I actually got my money's worth. I'm excited for what Sony is doing, and I'm looking forward to what's coming down the road from Nintendo as well. but what Sony got on the horizon, man. I hope they explore games like Astrobot and take what they did there, because they definitely did a good job and pull that into a full fledged game. And I'm looking forward to what they can do with this platform. It's a good platform. Uh, Nintendo will always disappoint. I feel, yeah, Nintendo, because yeah, you're right. As a Nintendo fan, we got to be honest. Uh, people want to see Mario like we reimagine seeing him, and Astrobot is the Mario we want to see. I'm just gonna be real with
It's
you.
a tragedy. It's really a tragedy of all the things that Nintendo could do with so many different franchises that are just begging to be refreshed. Don't even have to be a Mario game. Mario's been done to death. Mario needs a nice long sleep. But there's so many other franchises that they can give you the same experience or better than what you got from Astro Bot. They're just sitting there waiting for somebody to do something with it. And it's just about the bureaucracy of the management at Nintendo that they just refuse to change because they have a formula that works for them in terms of making money, and they're not going to change that. They're just going to keep doing whatever is good enough for them to keep bringing in money. They'll keep doing that. There's no real artists left in Nintendo. People who are really ambitious. I'm talking about the decision makers, not the actual developers.
I agree with that.
There's nobody that has that wants to change the world in how we play games and really want things to be innovative. They tell us lies that they're going to be innovative about something, but in actuality, it was just something that somebody else tried to innovate, and they didn't have the money to put behind it to really push it through, and Nintendo did. That's how you got the Switch.
Right.
The Switch is basically a failed project with the NVIDIA Shield. That's what it is. Nintendo said, well, we can slap some Joy-Cons on it and put our IPs behind it, and we can do something with this technology. And they did. It wasn't anything ambitious about the Switch. It isn't like they just set up from the beginning and say, okay, let's design a console that you can take on the go and play your games while you can play them at home. They didn't do that. They saw that NVIDIA had a need, Nintendo had a need. Nintendo's need to get the stench out of the Wii U off of people immediately, and NVIDIA's need was that we invested a lot of money in this Tegra X1 processor, and it's not doing a doggone thing for us. They had a mutual problem. They helped each other out. I'm not sure what Nintendo's plans are for their next console, but it better damn well be good.
I would say this. I'm not gonna, I'm gonna come to the defense of Nintendo while I hold them accountable at the same time. The Switch was what it was. I think the Switch is great. I like the Switch. I actually enjoyed the Switch. I played the Switch the most this generation. I'm always gonna love Nintendo IP, but Sony has thrown a monkey wrench. That's what happened. Is what you said, D2K. Ain't what Nintendo could strike oil because of their IPs, and no one quite done Nintendo can do Nintendo like Nintendo. So they can always side on the side of going a cheaper route, give you some innovative or gimmicky, whatever lens you want to look at it from. Is the Joy-Cons gimmick, or is it advanced technology? I'm gonna say I don't hardly even use my Joy-Cons, so for me, they just on the side. I play with my Pro controller all the time. Now, Nintendo also got a lot of help from the community, like the Joy-Con boys and all them. They help make that system. A lot of folks help make the system popular, the marketing and everything. But what happened to me is Sony threw a monkey wrench in there. and no one would have thought Sony would make a controller like this and put it out with a powerful system like this. I don't think Nintendo saw this coming. Now the question is, okay, Sony stole all our mustard. What can we add that they don't have? You can blow into the controller. The controller got HD rumble. The controller got haptic feedback in the triggers. You don't have digital. Nintendo's still dealing with digital triggers. Like we want analog triggers. They still giving us digital triggers. So now it's like you don't have good online.
Even that, they took a step back. They started off, they gave us analog triggers first with the GameCube controller. And then they went backwards to digital controllers with the Wii. So I'm like,
Yeah, like so that's my
Making
thing.
sense.
Like Nintendo has been making some decisions that's like they're able to, like the Switch is doing great, don't get me wrong, but I'm not quite where Active is with it, but I feel the sentiments. We had, Nintendo have been making some stupid decisions, especially online and all that. But I'm sorry, man. Sony has caused. I think Sony gonna cause Nintendo problems because the controller does everything Nintendo does. It's everything Nintendo would do. It's all there. Like Nintendo, man, we'll throw haptic feedback in the triggers on our next Pro controller. Well, Sony did that. Well, we're going to put blowing. Well, they got that too. Well, they got that too. So what you going to do? Make a whole other controller? I don't know what they're going to do. I really don't. And they could come with another Switch and they probably do well. And I'll probably buy it. But I'm telling you, man, the system is dope. It's dope. It feels like a Nintendo system. It feels like the Nintendo system we all, as Nintendo fans, have always dreamed of getting from Nintendo. Power and unique controls. Well, that's what the PlayStation 5 is. That's the catch. It's power with unique, advanced, game-changing controls. And that's what everybody is raving about. And that's why that's why it's hot right now. I ended on that. I still look forward to checking out the Series X. I want to get a chance to test one out. But as a PlayStation 5 owner, I am thoroughly satisfied. I told y'all I was going to have a lot to say. I don't even think they talk this much. I had a lot to say. I got more to say. I ain't even saying all I can say. I'm kind of being.
Sweet. I got more stuff to say.
I can say a lot. I can talk about Astrobot all night. I just don't. We ain't got the time. So anyway, and I need to get up because I'm starting to feel a little cool down here. Any final thoughts before we get out of here? I'm not buying another Nintendo if they scan 4K. I'm with you on that, Active. Look, man. It's time for Nintendo to take that money and make a system that's powerful. We've been playing games. I feel like the last system, they got away with it with the Switch, but I'm not accepting subpar visuals because it's Nintendo no more. I'm not accepting subpar.
They're out of excuses.
Yeah,
now.
I'm not accepting subpar online services because you're Nintendo. I'm not. It's time, you're right, it's time for Nintendo to do right. And with Sony doing this and taking all the things that make Nintendo unique with the controller, Nintendo really don't have no... Because, look, Nintendo got the bank to make a powerful system and the IPs to make any one of these companies sweat bullets. They can do that in their sleep. Why they won't do that, it goes back to what D2K said, is because we buy they stuff regardless. And maybe it is time for us to talk with our wallets. Be like, look, man, you give us another system that's on the old technology that everybody on move from. I'm not talking about throw ray tracing and all up in there, but I'm saying 4K should be the standard. I don't even have a 1080p TV in my house anymore. All my TVs are 4K. So it's time to come up and give us an online service to where we can actually play Smash Bros without stuff pausing in the middle of the game every 2 seconds. So let me be able to talk. Look, I told you I had so much to say. K-Bum, didn't I connect with you? Didn't I connect with you the other day? I jumped into your what was that, chat room? What did you have?
Yeah, chat.
People, I didn't have any earphones on. This was Nintendo speaker box stuff. I'm talking through my controller to K-Bum, and it was crystal clear. I didn't need no earphones. I was talking straight through my controller on my lap. That's Nintendo stuff, but that's on Sony, and they let you do it. I was talking with K-Bum and his party through my controller.
They come at you from two different sides. They got the haptic feedback and they got the 3D audio, and it's like you don't even think about the fact that, oh yeah, by the way, the Series X is more powerful. You can't really notice it. I mean, that was the big thing that ruined
yeah.
We Speak. Yeah, that's what it was called.
Yeah, We Speak.
That was
act.
That's the thing that ruined them. I mean, they showed us Craig at their little show and all that, and then just it's just, I mean, it's just Sony just got them over a barrel right now. They got the whole industry over a barrel, and I don't think there's anything that Microsoft and Nintendo can really do about it except merge forces.
Let me welcome Phoenix Star to the show. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, bro. Good show. Look, man, that's one thing you know about me in our podcast. And I was finna say this real quick. I believe Mr. L Live would love to have seen the PlayStation 5. This is what Mr. L Live always wanted from Nintendo. Like, when I say this is what we talked about, like, I remember sitting before he passed, I remember sitting off podcast and just talking with him, and maybe like, man, Nintendo, man, all they gotta do is just give us a powerful system, man. Why? He was just hoping that the NX was gonna be powerful, and when he found out, when I remember he said, "I'm done with Nintendo," and he went and bought I forgot what he bought. He bought it was an Alien, one of the Alien systems.
Alienware.
He bought an Alienware and a PlayStation 4. And he said, man, I'm done. I said, why? I was like, why? I said, don't tell nobody yet, Active, because you're going to kill our whole podcast. I mean, not Active, but Mr. L.I. I said, don't tell nobody. I said, but why you done? He's like, man, because Nintendo playing games. Man, I want power. I want to be able to utilize my TV. He was on that then. So to be, he been gone for about 5 years now, 6 years now. And Nintendo, we still talking the same stuff. We still asking for quality online. We still asking for voice chat. We still asking for just normal, regular, standard features that's been standard in gaming for 2 generations now. Actually 3. They still ain't giving it to you. And it's like, and now you want to mess around and you want to let Sony take your trump card, which is controls and unique experiences with the controller. Sony just took all your ideas and then ripped some ideas from Microsoft and then added some ideas of their own and gave you a controller that does it all.
Sony just came in and took all their clout.
Man, bro.
I mean, all of it.
And then gave you a game that plays almost identical to the Mario game. Bro, man, and with all the nostalgia you want for, like, all the nostalgia that is in Astro Bot. If you know anything about Sony heritage, it's there, man. From characters, you gonna see one scene where you see, I don't know if you noticed this, K-Bomb. You see, what's that game? Strange.
Devil May Cry.
Not Devil May Cry.
Death Stranding.
Death Stranding. He got one of the Astro Bots carrying all them boxes. Yeah,
he's in mud. Yep.
So it's all there, man. Just Nintendo stuff. That's Nintendo stuff, and it's there in bunches, and it's wild moments in bunches. And I ain't trying. I don't really care if I offend anybody. I shouldn't offend you. It's just games. I'm just telling you the truth. The PlayStation 5 ain't no joke. It ain't nothing to sneeze at. It lives up to the Xbox. I mean, up to the expectation. I'm not saying the Xbox won't. I don't know what Nintendo gonna do. They gonna have to do something. They might. They come with the, like, I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. I ain't worried about it.
See, before I was saying, like, well, they don't have to do anything because it's all about making money and all that type of stuff. But now, because what Sony did with this controller and it turned out the way it is, now Nintendo they gotta do something. They gotta do something now. They can't just sit back on their laurels and just collect paychecks, because that's going to erode away in time, especially if we got to wait like 3-4 years apiece for the next Star Fox, for the next Metroid, for the next real Mario, for the next Zelda. That's not good enough. There's going to be all kinds of games coming out in the meantime from Sony and Microsoft. I mean, Microsoft, bought Bethesda, and they bought some other companies and stuff, and they're going to be dropping some games too. And A lot of the stuff that you know was used to with Nintendo, other people are going to start doing and doing more and doing it better. And you can't just sit around and think things are going to be the same as the way they were for so long. I mean, you don't have that ability anymore. You got to they got to drop a bomb. They got to do something so out of the ordinary that people are like, whoa, I didn't expect Nintendo to do that. They have to.
And the only thing we ain't expecting Nintendo to do is actually compete. I said it on Twitter, and I said here, it's time for you playing with power to come back. It's time. They have made buttloads of money off of offering last generations or generation and a half old hardware. That's basically what they've been doing. They've been giving us at least a generation and a half out of passes time hardware. The Switch was old hardware. The Wii U was old hardware. The Wii was basically the GameCube repackaged with a new controller. They have done that and then the Switch. We got the Switch, like you said, it was basically the NVIDIA Shield repackaged. Okay, that's fine. You've been able to do that. And you had some low moments with the Wii U. You bounced back with the Switch. It was unique enough and gave you the freedom to leave. That was cool. And I was there for it. Don't get me wrong. I wanted the powerful system, but I like the Switch. But I want to see Nintendo do the power stuff again, man. That's where I'm at. I'm 41, about to be 42. I'm ready for Nintendo. I'm ready to see them utilize some power. I'm ready to see Mario Kart with PlayStation 5 level power behind it. I'm ready to see Mario running in the world with Xbox Series X power behind it. I'm ready to see a Breath of the Wild with PC level graphics behind it. Because it's going to be hard to go back from this and from a game like Sackboy, even though it don't play nearly as good as Mario 3D World, it's going to be hard to jump back in 3D World after seeing Sackboy. It's going to be hard to jump back on some of those games on the Switch after seeing Astrobot and after playing Miles Morales. Man, it's going to be hard because the visuals, man, you have to see it for yourself. It's a noticeable leap over the PlayStation 4. It's noticeable. You know you playing with a more powerful system. You know you playing with something different. It ain't like the 360, PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4. You see the difference in the game. You really do. And I don't know. I don't think they could come with generations with a generation old power level and think they can get by anymore. Not with me. Especially with Sony gave me a Nintendo 5. Nintendo, y'all better do something. I got a Nintendo 5. Y'all better do something. Anyway, don't be stealing my Nintendo 5 stuff. I see y'all. If I see Nintendo 5 on Twitter, I know who I'm coming for. But this is the Nintendo 5, man. That's what it is. You can tell Sony loves Nintendo, and
Sony has said it publicly several times, many times, that they love Nintendo.
They do. You can tell they love. They
say it all the time.
This is Anakin overcoming Obi-Wan Kenobi. We might be there. Anakin might be about to take over Obi-Wan.
No, I think it's the other way around. I think that Sony's standing on the hill saying, "I got the high ground."
I'm just saying, Anakin was was a trainee, but eventually Padawan, yeah. Look, they ain't playing no games, man. But anyway, we went longer than I was even going to. I thought we was going to be out here about an hour 15, 20. But I told you I had a lot to say.
You only got yourself to blame. So
yeah, and I got more to say. But anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this podcast. I aired out my feelings about the PlayStation 5 K-Bum.
For sure.
I'm happy to be a part of the Sony family for right now.
For sure.
You have shown me love. I feel at home. And anyway,
that's funny.
But any final words before we get out of here?
I do have a final word before we get out of here. Something just came across my timeline, which we're not gonna have time to talk about it. D2K did allude to it a little bit at the beginning by bringing up this man's one of these man's name, but something just came across my timeline that says Mr. Floyd Mayweather Jr. has announced that he will fight YouTube star Logan Paul in a boxing match in February of 2021.
Why?
Money. I don't know.
YouTube star who?
He want to avenge the black race or something. I don't know why he want to fight.
Oh, the person that is it the person that knocked out?
Yes.
Oh, that
yes.
wouldn't even be a. Well, he is
Yes.
bigger than him.
Yes, I don't know why he's doing it. It's not necessary. You don't have to fight. Like you're Floyd Mayweather. You're a professional fighter. Why you? I don't know. But that's what I just saw that. I just had to mention that.
I didn't want to get started on that.
Is this
that
a serious
character.
fight or this is just propaganda? Is this real? Going to happen?
No, it is real. It is ESPN just announced it. ESPN announced it.
I think that he all this hoopla is going on about boxing and he's not involved in it. He just found a way to stick his foot in there. That's all it was.
Now here's the crazy thing though, DT.
Nobody talking about him. So you say, first he started with like, y'all need to stop clowning Nate Robinson. Black people need to stop clowning. Man, shut up. Get out of here with that mess. He got knocked out. He deserved to get knocked out. Had no business being up in there. You
saw Friday.
You heard what Snoop Dogg said. You don't come and play fight. You don't play boxing.
You can't play boxing.
You can't play boxing.
You do it, you don't.
He of all people should know better than that. So go sit down somewhere. It's all about just getting his name out there. That's all it is.
But here's the thing, though. What if Floyd lose?
Floyd's not gonna lose to a YouTuber, man. This man's a professional boxer who has been boxing probably long. This man has been alive.
Hey, that's the irony.
Longer.
That's what I mean. That's the irony of the situation. You would think that he's not supposed to.
It's just like when he fought that. It's just like when he fought that Asian guy a couple of years ago. It wasn't nothing serious about that.
Yeah, it's for the paper.
Yep.
Yeah, he get paid. He definitely gonna get paid. Well, anyway, I ain't watching it, but it's like I watched Mike Tyson on YouTube the same night it came up. But any other final words? Okay. I'm gonna say it again, folks. Just to let you know, I'm not joking. The PlayStation 5 is a Nintendo's dream system. It is. If you're a Nintendo fan, you would be doing yourself a favor to get you a PlayStation 5. You would not leave disappointed. Trust me. That's the system you've been wanting for years. I'm just gonna be bold enough to tell you, yeah, that's what you've been asking for. Sony gave you what you've been asking for from Nintendo. Sony gave it to you, and it's called
PS5 is the NX.
It's the NX. It's the Nintendo 5. It is the Nintendo 5. That's what it is, man. Anyway, thank y'all for tuning in. We will be getting out of here. I don't know when we'll be jumping back on. I guess when more news come out that we want to talk about. So, K-Bum, let them know how you feel, and we out.
I feel good. What was I supposed to say?
Hey, if y'all don't hear K-Bum no more, y'all know why. This dude. But anyway, hopefully, I wanted Keith on here so bad for this podcast, man.
I know, yeah.
I did, cause I know he would have had so much to say with what I was saying. I held back, people. I didn't even go as hard as I really wanted to, because I know some of y'all might not be able to handle that, but it is the truth. But anyway, till next time, folks, stay safe, stay COVID-free, and I'll catch y'all on the next podcast. Till then, deuces.